Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. Today we have some entitled parent stories, and our first story of the day is by Doom for All Mortals. Entitled parent demands a free painting and then flips out when I refuse. Okay, so for a little context, I am a high school student in my junior year and I've won various awards for my oil paintings. Some of my works are displayed in local galleries as well, and I take commissions which vary in price depending on the type of painting they want. Most of my patrons request biblical paintings since I am best at painting in a Renaissance Baroque style, and I love to paint scenes with lots of movement. That being said, I also paint a lot of portraits of families, local politicians, etc. Basically, if you pay me, I will paint anything. This all happened BC, before COVID, and I was displaying some of my work at my school's art fair. Basically, the district rented a huge auditorium where various schools would display their best work and then auction it off for charity. It was a fun event and a surprising amount of people showed up. Now here is where it starts. I had about 5 or 6 paintings on display. Most of them were depictions of Greek myths and stories, with a few exceptions being a painting of Jesus' crucifixion and a painting of my girlfriend as a goddess, which she is. I had some business cards that my dad had gotten for me which had some of my info just in case people wanted to commission me, along with a pamphlet of my prices and such. In comes the entitled parent with her baby in a carrying thingy. I don't know what they're called, they look like baskets. I am sure you've seen one before. I must say the baby looked pretty new, their face was all swollen and they looked pretty small. Why would she bring a newborn baby to a crowded area with lots of noise? I don't know, but hey, I am not a baby expert. She grabbed a business card and examined it, then looked back at my paintings.
Hey, these are pretty good. Obviously nowhere as good as the old masters, but a pretty close second, I guess. Though for a 16-year-old, they're pretty good.
Oh, thanks, I guess. I've been painting for a pretty long time and I am glad that people enjoy my stuff. I appreciate the compliment.
Oh, I see you do commissions. How much for one of me and my baby?
Well, it depends on what you want. What did you have in mind?
Maybe us laying in a field or something. I don't know, something cute.
Oh, I can do that. What size did you have in mind? Entitled parent points to the Jesus painting, which is 16 by 20, so a standard medium-ish painting. Okay, well, for 2 people, normally it would be about $200, but since your baby is not a grown adult, I can make it $125.
What? That's ridiculous. Why are you charging so much for a painting anyways?
Well, usually a painting that size takes me about 20 hours at least, and the paint that I use are pretty expensive, not counting the canvas or paint mediums that can be pretty pricey too.
I don't care about that stuff. Why can't you just do it for free, huh? I am a single mother and I really want this painting done.
At this point, I am floored. She's asking for 20 plus hours of work for free when I have school on top of it? Sorry, I don't think I can do that for you. It's just not worth my time. I have school to balance as well.
I am a single mother and you are telling me to pay $100 for this trash? Do you have no heart? I have to work so hard to provide for my daughter. I can't believe that you could be so heartless.
At this point, she is yelling at me pretty loudly. Her baby is surprisingly still sound asleep. The couple I was talking to earlier comes to my defense. The girl says, if you work so hard, then you would understand that doing hours of work for no pay is not worth it. The boy says, yeah, if you worked 20 hours and then didn't get your paycheck, you would be pretty angry, huh?
That isn't the same thing. She is a high school student. She doesn't need the money. She can spare a few hours from me.
I say, what? No, I can't. I am not giving you a painting for free, end of story. Either pay for it or leave. She gets red in the face at this point. She is seething in anger.
You little witch, I can't believe how freaking rude you are. You don't even care that I work so hard.
You're right, I don't. Now if you aren't going to commission me, then can you please leave? You're making a scene when I have been nothing but nice to you.
Fine, I will leave.
She then walked up to one of my paintings and took it off the wall. Her baby wakes up and starts to cry, probably from all the noise. She begins to shush her baby and speed walk towards the exit, but not before a man, who I assume is a teacher or something, grabs her arm and attempts to take the painting back. She puts the baby carrier on the floor and attempts to wrestle it out of the guy's hands. They fumble for a while, yelling expletives at each other while struggling with the painting. I should probably note at this point that the painting didn't have a frame or any protective glass over it. I probably should have done that, but it was too late. She ripped the painting out of his hand and smashed it against the floor like a hard rock singer and his guitar. Wood went flying everywhere. People were screaming at her. I was crying because I don't know how to handle my emotions. She turned back to me, sweaty and red.
See what happens when you're a rude little witch? Bad things. I hope you learned your lesson.
At this point, I don't respond. I am on the floor crying near my painting that I had put so much work into. The wood had pierced the canvas and now there was a huge hole in the middle of the painting. Entitled Parent gets dragged out of the venue as the various teachers and other students try to comfort me. Eventually, I calm down and the event goes on. I did get about 5 commissions, so I guess it wasn't all bad, but I am still furious about what happened. I am just glad that I never get to see her again. So let me ask you guys, this entitled parent came in here, was belligerent, tried to basically rip OP off, and then destroyed their painting that they had spent hours painting and I'm sure was worth at least some kind of decent chunk of change. Should OP or people around them have tried to press some kind of charges against the entitled parent here and tried to see if maybe they could get the entitled parent on the hook to have to pay for the painting they destroyed? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story is by Gameless. My best friend's mom stole a TV from me. So we have Emily, my friend's mom, and we have Jake, my best friend. Jake and I always walked to school together and it was Verge side collection. People put all of their rubbish that's too big to go into the bin and a truck comes to collect it. Happens once per year. During this time, I will go and look through people's piles of stuff to see if there was anything I want or could sell. I found a big TV. I'm talking 100 inches. I didn't know if it worked or not, but figured I could fix it or something. So Jake told his mom and asked if she could pick it up for me, and she said yes. After school, I went to his house so we could drop the TV off at my house. Emily suggested that we test it first. Jake and I carried it inside and we plugged it in. To all of our surprise, it turned on and worked. I was like, whoa, that's cool. Time to take it home. Emily said that, "It is in my house, it's mine now." And I just got so freaking mad. I told her no and Jake backed me up, but she said that it was hers. She ended up kicking me out of her house and I just went home. About 2 months later, it stopped working and Jake refused to help her take it out. So it's been in her house for over a year now and both Jake and I refuse to take it out. Well, at the risk of burning bridges, I would maybe talk to my parents about it if I was in this situation, and maybe something could be done about this, and with Jake backing it up, maybe they would actually have a decent case. It's kind of tricky because it is in their house, I don't know. Either way, it's an extremely crappy thing to do. This next story was posted by an anonymous user. Mom sees nothing wrong with digging through trash bag of memories from my ex. Right off the bat, I want to say that I love my mom. I really do. Ultimately though, she's human and isn't a perfect person. Neither am I, it's just I don't have kids to project my imperfections and insecurities onto. I love my mom, but I also hope to be nothing like her when I have my own kids. This situation in particular really made me start to see her in a different light. The whole thing took place right after I had just been broken up with. My ex left my house with a box of his things and I was busy crying in my room. Eventually, I picked myself up off the floor and got right to work in de-relationshiping my room. I was tossing anything and everything I got from him. Stuffed animals, letters, shirts, Polaroid pictures, everything went. I left my room with a black trash bag full of stuff that I was going to toss into our big trash bin outside. This is where my mom stops me and asks if she can look through the bag to see if there was anything she wanted. It was a no from me. That bag held memories of a guy I wanted nothing to do with, and I didn't want to see any memorabilia from him around the house. It was important to me and to my being able to move on to get rid of anything that reminded me of him. Also, my mom is your typical nosy mom, so I figured she also just wanted to snoop through everything. I didn't just tell her no though, I made her promise not to go through the bag once I've thrown it away. I thought maybe making her promise would be good as she's looked through my trash on multiple occasions. So she promises not to, and that's the end of that. Fast forward a couple of months and I am at her workplace helping her clean up her office. I bend down to reach under her desk where I find papers, cans, and a pair of fuzzy slippers that I knew I threw away in that bag. I grab them and hold them up to her, and she knows what she's done because she just laughs. She laughs and says they're comfortable. I laugh too because I'm at her workplace, but I was honestly so upset. It's not that the slippers were anything super important to me, it's that she promised not to go through the bag but did anyway. It was a complete invasion of my privacy, and for what? She didn't know I had those slippers to begin with, so she was likely just snooping through the bag and looking at everything. It's like she put her personal gain and need to snoop over my feelings, and I don't know, it was and still is an upsetting memory for me. Boring and long story, I know. I just wanted to get this off my chest because I've held it in for long enough. I don't think this is a boring story, and putting myself in that situation, I would be extremely disappointed and, at least inside, distraught, because it feels like a total invasion of privacy, lied to your face, and not only did they do both of those things, but they're laughing in your face when they get caught. It's all those things and also kind of playing down the seriousness of the situation, kind of like belittling you and your feelings right in your face. It would be a very upsetting thing for me too, so I totally understand OP. Our next story is by WitherPrince73. You are all horrible family for not visiting my COVID plus household. My grandmother's house is currently being fumigated as she was having a roach problem. She is staying with us in the meantime. In my household, we are being very careful as my parents are in the risk group. They're in their 50s, so we are being cautious. Main story. So it was in the morning about 10 o'clock when I heard the house phone ring. Cast. Me, pretty obvious who. EA is entitled aunt. GM is grandma, M is mom, EK is entitled kid. Also parts and brackets is me talking. Mom says, OP, can you go pick up the phone? I say okay. Me picking up the phone. Hello. Entitled aunt says, hey OP, how are you? I am great. Okay, good. I just wanted to let you all know that we are sick in our household and it would mean the world if you guys came to visit. Oh dear, what happened? I don't know, some doctor saying some crap about virus or something like that. All fake in my opinion. Oh, I'm sorry, I would be happy to schedule a Zoom meeting. OP, do you seriously believe in that virus crap? Let me tell you this, it is a scam, a lie so they can put monitoring chips inside us with the so-called vaccine. Changing the topic, I think mom wants to talk to you. Now I leave the room to get a glass of water. When I return, I hear arguing over the phone. I don't know what happened to start the argument. Mom says, what do you mean we should come visit your house when you guys are virus plus? The virus is real, we could get infected and spread it on to grandma. You know how vulnerable she is? What's wrong with a Zoom meeting as OP had suggested? I was later told that entitled aunt made this sentence before hanging up. You are all horrible family, can't even visit when I'm sick. And she hung up the phone. Yeah, I'm sorry OP, but I don't think there's any saving that one. I think entitled aunt is too far gone on the whole conspiracy train. When they get to the point that they're claiming that the coronavirus vaccine is going to be a microchip injection, I don't think there's much salvaging that one. And our final story of the day is by Faco5045. Why are you eating that? This happened yesterday and I can't stop laughing about it. My city is full of Eugenia trees. I think the correct name in English is magenta cherry, which you can easily find in any park. Eugenia berries are edible, and when I am out walking my dog, I normally take some of the branches and eat them because I like their earthly bittersweet flavor. I admit, not the most hygienic habit. So yesterday, while going home, I was walking through the park when I decided I wanted berries, so I went to a tree and basically took enough to fill a small plastic bag I had in my backpack. While I was picking them, 3 kids, maybe 6 or 7 years old, approached me and asked what I was doing. By the way, COVID protections in my city were lifted up. Dumb idea, but it is what it is. I told them I was going to eat berries, and they were truly amazed by the concept of eating the berries from a real tree. I guess they had only eaten fake tree berries? Then they asked me if I could give them some. I don't like being rude to children, but I am pretty precautious, especially if I don't know them and I am not a fan of being sued, so I told them the ones I had were mine and that they should ask their mother to pick some for them. They didn't make much of a fuzz about it and went running to a guy I guess was their dad or uncle on the other side of the park while I continued with my berry picking. Suddenly, I had an angry man shouting in my ear,
"Why are you eating those? Are you a hippie? Are you trying to get high?"
"What?"
"You heard me. You are one of those loony toonies that likes getting high on plants and mushrooms."
Dude, this is just wild berries, no different from a blackberry. Look it up, Eugenia plant. The guy takes his cell phone out, makes a quick Google search and sees I am telling the truth. He then grabs some himself and takes a huge bite. Big mistake because they have a hard seed inside. He spits them out in pain and gets angry again.
"What the freak? This tastes awful and has a freaking seed inside. Why the heck would you want to eat that?"
"I like the flavor."
"You are stupid."
"Okay, I guess." I don't know what reaction he was expecting, honestly. He just went away while throwing curses to the air and rubbing his jaw. I saw the kids talking to him again, maybe asking for berries again, but he just shouted and then they left the park. I guess the lesson for the day was not biting something you don't know the texture of. That hurts me on a spiritual level. The idea of taking something you have never eaten before, popping it right in your mouth and just going chomp right down on it, ooh, that kinda just hurts me instinctively. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So which of these stories was your favorite and why? Let me know in the comments down below. But besides that, if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing and turn notifications on if you haven't so you'll never miss an upcoming video. Any little thing that you do helps the channel grow so much more. Whether it's commenting, subscribing, or just watching the video, thank you all so very much for supporting me right here on the Storytime channel. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time, right here.